Some of my favorite people are going to be here on Know the Cause today, starting with Marty Whittakin, or at the end of the show, Marty Whittakin is talking about gut issues and heartburn. How many of you have that problem, right? Then Nurse Jenny. There's a study, lung cancer, 10,000 women studied. Guess what they ate that helped them? You'll have to wait just a few minutes for that. Frank Jordan and I did a Skype the other day, and it came out really good because Frank really got hammered with that hurricane. What I learned from this few minutes with Frank was we must be prepared. And then opening the show today, you guys may have read a while ago Ben Stiller. I like him as an actor. I think he's so funny. Ben Stiller had prostate disease. I want to do a little segment on what his doctors just don't understand about prostate disease. All that and more on this Know the Cause. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. You know, you're staring at a guy right now who admittedly hasn't been to a doctor in a lot of years. And so many of you want to know, if I'm on a podium lecturing somewhere throughout the United States, well, how do I know I'm well? I know I'm well because I get up in the morning feeling like I'm 30 years old. This morning I did my maxi climber. I ate a grapefruit, a whole grapefruit. I took my supplements. I mean, I went out for a 1.5 mile walk with Ruth during, in the middle of all of that. I feel tremendous, but I am going to die one day. What I don't want to know, folks, and go with me, is see if you feel this way. I don't want some doctor to tell me I have prostate disease at 50 years old and then live 15 more years with all of the therapies that go along with prostate disease. I don't want that, folks, so I go out of my way to live differently than most 67-year-old guys. I watch my peers and I see the alcohol and I see the bread consumption and I see what goes on. Maybe we can prevent a lot of diseases by not going to the doctor, by using our heads. I'm kind of a guy in the middle. This is what I've been teaching for 45 years, is that you need to be proactive with your health. So when I read the other day that actor Ben Stiller credits the PSA test with saving his life. Neat guy. I love his comedy. Absolutely love Stiller and Mara. I love their son. I love his comedy. It's slapstick, and I absolutely love it. I didn't know he had cancer, diagnosed a couple of years ago, but he's saying, boy, that high PSA test saved his life. Here's what Ben Stiller doesn't know, and I'm going to make it worse, what his urologists don't know either. The PSA test, as we learned from the man who invented it in 1970, right? Dr. Richard Ablin. He's been on this show. He wrote a book, The Great Prostate Hoax. The PSA test was never a prostate cancer test, and they named it wrong. PSA stands for prostate specific antigen, PSA. Guess what? The PSA is not prostate specific. Pregnant women can have high PSAs. They don't own a prostate. So just the name of it is wrong. We're finding in medicine, with it rapidly evolving the way it is, that we're making mistakes, folks. When I read a couple of weeks ago that out of a big medical journal, that the mammogram is about 58% accurate. So I got a quarter out of my pocket and I flipped it in the air. That's about 50% accurate. Is that what we're doing, telling women they have breast cancer? They have breast something. Men have prostate nodules. We have something going on. But what is it? I'll tell you what I learned. There is a great, great man that is heading up the American Cancer Society. His name is Otis Brawley, B-R-A-W-L-E-Y. Look him up. He's one of my heroes, folks. How he could be this high up in that organization and tell it like it is, I have no idea. But he's a good, high-quality man. Here's what he said. The thing Ben Stiller doesn't understand is that his case is based on one positive experience, said Otis Brawley, the chief medical officer of the American Cancer Society. He hasn't heard of all the men who have negative experiences with PSA testing. The bottom line is there's more harm associated with prostate cancer screenings than good. Has your doctor told you that? Or has he wanted to draw a PSA on you? Has your OBGYN said, you know, I want another mammogram this year? Have they shared the 58% reliability? Because there's false positives and false negatives to every test. But this sentence coming from the head of the American Cancer Society, the bottom line to prostate, the PSA test, the bottom line is there's more harm associated with prostate cancer screening. That's a digital rectal exam. That's the PSA test. There's more harm than good that comes out of it. So when I started this conversation, I said, you're looking at a guy who hasn't had a PSA or a digital rectal exam, and I'm 67 years old. Why? Trust is a major factor for me. Medicine is evolving so quickly, so much is happening, but we're using old, outdated technology. And we're doing so to diagnose a disease, which means the therapy itself could kill you. Not the disease, the therapy itself. Chemo, radiation, those are therapies that can bring on cancer. I want no part of it, so I kind of take good care of my prostate with exercise and proper diet. And now you know a little bit more. Don't avoid these cancer therapies if your doctor wants you. Just walk in and be an educated consumer. I hope that's helped. We are joined by a dear friend of all of ours. If you've ever swallowed a beta-glucan, you know my guest right now, Frank Jordan. Frank just went through a devastating hurricane, Hurricane Harvey, a short time ago, a month or two ago, out in the Houston area, but more specifically in Liberty, Texas, where I'm telling you, 55 inches of rain. Frank is okay, thank God. His staff is okay. Buildings took hits, but he is okay. The reason I wanted Frank on, who better knows the immune system than Frank Jordan, right? Medical school research and so forth. Frank, what do you do out there when you've been through what you guys and then in Florida have been through? Teach us in the 3 minutes we have here.
Well, Doug, there's so much to be done. First, register with FEMA if you've had damage. Second of all, listen to the authorities. Go back in when they say it's okay, not before. If you're going into floodwaters, as many are, it's very important your clothing. You need wet gear that's above the level of the water. You need rubber gloves. You need goggles. Once you get in your home, you need a mask. You're probably not going to have power. So it's very important. Even generators are not there yet. Go into the home and evaluate the situation as far as fungus. Prepare your body. This is very important. Your medications should have been out of this area already. Pharmacies are not going to be available. First responders initially aren't there. Then eventually they'll get there with the Red Cross and others. But prepare your body. Now, we sell products for the immune system. That's 1/5 of your body. You are in a body war. This is a war. It's airborne. It's on your skin. It's in your food. It's in your gut. It's everywhere. So you have external and internal challenges. The NSC 100 beta-glucan is researched. I don't have time to go into it. Get it. Just get it. Then we have the Caprylic Plus. It's got all these fungus fighters. Have it in your possession and ready to go taking it. Don't wait. You can do that before. There's other things. NSC probiotic. Your stomach is going to be challenged from aspergillus, from candida, from all these different things that are coming at you. So get prepared for physically first. Next, the Doug Kaufman diet. You've got to be on a diet beforehand. You need to be lean and mean. Like, think of the soldiers you want to fight your war. Well, you're the soldier. What condition are you in? So get a little exercise, try to sleep as much as you can. Stress reduction, almost impossible. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be overwhelmed. Recognize all those things. So you may want a respiratory formula or allergy formula, whatever these things are that are going to confront you. Prayer will really help. Look up. Have faith and have hope. Don't let it overcome you. Focus. Very important. Focus. Then be prepared. Wear a respirator, N95 or NSC or N100. If you're cleansing with water, 10% bleach, don't wipe it up. Wait till it dries and dispose of it. All equipment you're using for this, dispose of it in disposable bags. Get it out of your house. Be aware chemicals are in the air. You've got to be very careful about this. Listen to the authorities. Are there toxins? I guarantee you aspergillus is going to be in the air. all of these things. That's just a really quick, your kitchen sink. Look at the chemicals under it, your laundry rooms.
Yeah. And they
You
were
just got to
floating,
know.
and they go floating by. You said in past hurricane, your family Bible, your dining room table, everything floats by. Frank, number one, thank God, you and everybody there, Tonya and the whole gang is fine. You've been through some flooding. Folks, heed this information. Wear long clothing, wear big fisherman's boots, wear goggles, wear a respirator, N100. It gets rid of 98% of the mold that might get through. You will now have a mold problem. It's not so much the germ, it's your immune system. Frank, God bless you guys and welcome home. We're glad you're okay.
Thank you, Doug, and
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Everybody involved can get a free sample.
That's
Just
right, free sample. Call the NSC24.com company. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Doug.
I can't begin to tell you how many of my colleagues simply stick their head in the sand and ignore the health dangers of environmental toxins. These deadly toxins are in our food, our water, the air we breathe, and that's just the beginning. Once you factor in all the chemicals from common household and hygiene products, the toxic soup that envelops our lives just gets thicker, and we're all swimming in it. There is just no escaping from this. Many people have heard about carcinogens. Doug mentions mycotoxins, which according to the American Cancer Society are mutagenic carcinogens. One aflatoxin is known as hepatocarcinogen, which is cancer of the liver, which is scary enough, but have you heard about obesogens? You may not realize, but many of the most prevalent environmental toxins are known obesogens. They make us fat, including, yes, the chemicals on receipts. I won't ever touch one. These disrupt our hormones and make it exceedingly difficult to lose weight, even with the best exercise and eating habits. So try a good cleanse or detox. I know I do. I'm Dr. Fred Pescatore for Know the Cause.
Man, I love that guy, Frank Jordan. I've known him, 25 years. Thank God he's okay, but boy, did he get hammered out there. And be prepared. That's what that was all about. Now, Nurse Jenny is going to teach you what they studied lung cancer in 10,000 women, what food helped. I know you've been waiting for this, and then we'll do that. Afterwards, Marty Whittakin, nutritionist, is going to be here to talk about gut issues and heartburn. Don't miss a second of this. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jenny Herbacek with the Cancer Connection. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, especially when it comes to lung cancer. A French study involving 10,000 women showed a strong relationship to the high intake of flavonoids from eating apples to the lowering the growth of lung cancer. So how about having a fresh, crisp apple for that afternoon snack? For Know the Cause, I'm Jenny Herbacek.
About 8 years ago, Marty Whittakin wrote this book, Natural Alternatives to Nexium, Maalox, Tagamet, and Prilosec, and Other Acid Blockers. There's the other book she wrote, The Probiotic Cure. This woman, Marty, is a certified clinical nutritionist. She knows a lot about the gut. So 8 years later, after she wrote the book, here comes this. It's all in her book. Popular heartburn drugs linked to higher early death risk. Duh. Maybe you're supposed to take these things for a week or two till you can figure out why that began, right? That's what Marty says in her book. But now even the scientists are saying, whoops, sorry. We've got millions of you people on this and you're dying early. Oh, sorry. Ugh. Be proactive with your health. That's what you've taught for years and years and years. And I wondered 25 years ago or 30 years ago when I met you, why you just honed in on this. I mean, everybody's talking about this and senile dementia, this and arthritis, and you have stayed the course on the gut. Do tell.
If only they said they were sorry. As it turns out, they don't.
Yeah.
In spite of a lot of studies, I saw the hints of them, and common sense told me what was coming in the first edition. In the second edition of that book on heartburn, I had more data. Now there's a lot more. And still, if you go to the doctor and you have heartburn, you will get an acid-blocking drug, and not for the 2 weeks for which they're safe, but forever. And I wanted to talk about, I didn't really set my path to be have a digestive focus, but all roads led to that. And in my private practice, I found that I couldn't get anybody well, no matter what symptom they came in with, if we didn't address the gut issues. So
really, so they would come in with arthritis.
Yep.
And you can always put them on an anti-inflammatory or something, and that may relieve them for an hour or so. But why does it keep coming back? Because garbage in equals arthritis in so many cases.
And it's that way with everything. I actually got into nutrition in the beginning because I had migraine headaches, and I didn't realize they were related to gut issues and nutrient deficiencies. And I just kind of, light bulb went off. I was like, well, gee, I wonder what else medicine doesn't know, because I'd gotten no help. I'd only gotten a prescription for whatever the latest pain reliever was.
Yeah.
They didn't help, and they made me sick of my stomach. And it turns out there's a lot.
Marty, what the geneticists will tell us is, oh no, your great-grandma had arthritis, so you're going to have arthritis. Not open your refrigerator and let me take a look. And folks, this is sometimes tough to hear. I understand that. I mean, you'd understand it with morbid obesity, right? You're just eating too much. But it's so easy to blame on grandma's grandma, you know? And that's what Marty says, be big boys and girls and understand the link. When this came out the other day, who did my mind, you know, popular PPI, proton pump inhibitors. Why do I want my proton pump inhibited? Why would I want that? Linked to higher early death. I thought of you immediately because this has been your focus. So along came the books. Now you're offering courses, which I love. Tell us about that.
Well, even in the case of obesity, there are fascinating things about your gut microbes dictating whether or not you'll be fat. So no matter what problem you want to solve, everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose by improving your digestive function. And that's what this is about, is recognizing the clues. And there are 30 different classes, about 7 hours worth of material. We've got PowerPoints and all that. Make it easy. You also get online access so that you can go back and see updates and so on. Less than one visit in my office, and I think most people will solve their problems.
You can't sit down with Marty for 7 hours, right? And if you did, it'd be a couple $1,000s. She's put all that on tape, 30 courses, and they cover the most amazing thing: digestive issues, leaky gut, yeast, fungal problems in the gut, detox, probiotics. This is her now famous digestive health education. Under $100. You know, all you've got to do is write down this phone number, okay? You ready? 3, 2, 1. Did you write down 3, 2, 1? 800-490-1116. 888-490-1116. Right? 888-490-1116. And this will be shipped to you. Let the learning begin. Thank you for all you do for all of us. Radio show still going well?
Oh, every Saturday, favorite hour of my week.
And how many years have you been doing that?
20.
20 years. Good for you. God bless you, Marty. Thanks.
Thank you, Doug.
It's getting cold outside. I love this time of year. We go into the kitchen with Lindsay, and she whips up something called pumpkin parfait. I have no idea what this is, but wait till you make it and try it.
Hey, I'm Lindsay Crouch from Guiltless Goodies. Today, Doug asked me to come on and show you how to do one of my favorite fall desserts, a pumpkin parfait. Now, this is a healthy treat that's much better choice than ice cream, but kind of gives you that same satisfaction of that smooth and creamy dessert that everyone loves. So what we're gonna do is take our blender, and we're just gonna mix everything right in here and let the blender do the mixing for us. This is about a cup of pureed pumpkin. You can find it at any grocery store right now, or actually year-round, most grocery stores carry it. This is a cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, about a teaspoon of vanilla. This is about a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. You could also use cinnamon if you don't have pumpkin pie spice on hand. And then lastly, this is local raw honey. This makes it Kaufman 2, but if you wanted to do Kaufman 1, you could use stevia. So that's all that we're gonna do for this first part. Just put on the lid to your blender and give it a nice, easy whirl. next, we're gonna pour this into a jar or an airtight container. You could also use Tupperware if you wanted to, but I've got this, so I'm just gonna pour this right in. Now, pumpkin is actually incredibly healthy for you. It's loaded with potassium, vitamin C, also fiber. Okay, now this is chia seeds. We have 5 tablespoons of chia seeds, and chia seeds, woo, going everywhere. They are loaded with calcium and iron, omegas. They're a superfood. Okay, now I'm gonna take my spoon and just mix those chia seeds into our pumpkin mixture. Get them all stirred up, totally combined. And then you're gonna cover your container and let this sit in the fridge for at least a few hours, but overnight is probably best. And I already did that. So here we have our pre-made chia seed pumpkin pudding. I made this, let it sit in the fridge overnight, and I'm gonna show you how wonderful and thick it is. Now what happens with the chia seeds when you put them in water is it makes a gel and it expands. So they're very filling because they do that same type of expansion in your stomach. So they're very filling. Now what we're gonna do in order to make our parfait with a couple layers is make a coconut cream. We'll go ahead and put this to the side. We have some coconut cream, a bowl, a metal bowl that I stuck in the freezer, which is nice and cold, and then some honey to sweeten it with. Now, if you'll just stick your metal bowl in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes before you plan on making your homemade whipped cream, it'll do a lot better in that cold environment. I've got my hand mixer, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start beating this up. And once you start to see those peaks form, that's when you're gonna add in your sweetener. I'm gonna use honey, but you could also use stevia if you wanted to keep it Kaufman 1. This will be Kaufman 2 with the raw honey. And now we're gonna just blend that in. All right, that'll do it. We'll go ahead and put that to the side. And now we're gonna start layering our parfaits. Any type of glass will do. Maybe it's got a stem on it, maybe it's stemless, whatever you have on hand that looks nice and kind of festive. My kids love these because they feel like they're getting just this decadent dessert. Okay, so we've got a layer of our pudding. Now we're gonna do a layer of the cream. Have y'all made any of these chia seed puddings at home? They are delicious. Okay, this is our last layer. Take a step back. I love it. And then if you wanted to, you could put a cinnamon stick on top or a little sprinkle of cinnamon to finish. That's it, guys. Pretty simple, very healthy, and great for fall or winter. It has a lot of those nice earthy fall flavors with the pumpkin and the cinnamon and the honey that we used. Look for this recipe and more on knowthecause.com. Thanks so much for watching.
Pumpkin parfait. Unbelievable. Your kids are going to love it, and you guys are going to love it too, even big kids. Thank you so much, Marty, for your information. How many people have that problem? Heartburn, GERD, etc. Thanks, Marty. She knows more about the gut than anybody I know. Thank you also, Jenny, for the amazing information. Apples, who'd have thought? 10,000 women, lung cancer, what helped? Apples. Okay, green apples, lots of malic acid in them. Frank, great to see you again. Thank God you and the whole team over there at NSC Beta-Glucan made it out alive and well and learned a lot from it. They always talk about preparation. I hate to think there's another one behind all of this a few years down the line. Glad he's fine. And then finally, my guy I love, Ben Stiller, what his doctor doesn't know about prostate cancer. Did that help any of you folks? God bless you. Thanks for joining us every day. Watch me live on Facebook. Just go to the website. It'll teach you how. Bye-bye.